Yo, what's up? Let's get this show on the road. Like I said again, every day I say the same thing. This is not a live stream. This is just a study session. So we're not going to be talking that much. We're going to be studying. Let me pull this up. But anyways, good morning, guys. Sorry for the late start too. I'm starting late because I slept horrible last night. I don't know what happened. Last night we went to bed like at 2 a.m. Bailey was talking and keeping me up. Yeah, is that a horror story? So my horror stories is crazy. Let's watch the video about linked lists. In the meantime, let me just. What happened yesterday that I was. Something happened that I was going to talk about too in the afternoon. But I don't remember what it is. Oh, I remember what it was now. It's Nick Fuentes. Let me just add one thing to the playlist before we get into the actual coding shit. There's something that happened yesterday that I wanted to react to. And I gotta save it to the playlist before I forget. It was this Tucker Carlson interview with Nick Fuentes. I do want to watch this later tonight. We might spend the whole stream watching this later tonight. I know, baby. Okay. Anyways, let's get into some studying. Linked list, Swift. Yesterday, we started a little bit of this linked list thing, but we didn't really get that deep into it. So let's watch a full-on video where they go into detail about the linked lists. I'm looking for the linked list episode 2. Episode 3. Episode 2 there. Here it is. Let's see what Max Codes has to say about this. You know, Max Codes, very good coder. Very good programmer.
Welcome back to the linked list series here on YouTube by Max Codes, and welcome back to the dev channel. In this video, we're going to start building out the linked list that we talked about in the previous episode here in this series. If you want a brief overview of what a linked list is and kind of a refresher if you've already built one out previously, then go ahead and check out the last video I uploaded. I'll put the link in the description to the last and the next video, and I'll be doing that throughout this series so that you can easily navigate between videos. Now, in that last video, we kind of just go over what a linked list is, how nodes connect, what the previous and next node pointers are, and the head and tail, why they're nil, their next and previous nodes.
One of the mistakes I made yesterday is when I made my linked list, I didn't have the wrapper. You're supposed to have a node and you're supposed to have a wrapper. I looked at it in my book earlier today, and I just had the node, and the node was doing everything, which might have added to a little bit of the confusion I was having yesterday.
And we're going to be building it out now. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Again, if you want that brief overview, go ahead and check out that last video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video where we're going to be creating a node class, creating a linked list class, and providing a last and next node pointer in that linked list class.
Dude, that's what I was missing.
Once we're done with this video where we complete steps 1 through 3, we will jump into the next video.
Yo, good morning, Jerry.
We're going to be creating the ability to append nodes to our linked list, and we're going to be talking quite a bit about pointers in that video. So let's go ahead and jump into the code by first going over to Xcode. And if you've been watching my SwiftUI videos, you'll notice that I use the Xcode
Beta.
11 beta quite a bit.
This is so old.
In this series, I'm just going to be using the latest version of Xcode. Now, if it's 10 months from now or whenever the next version of Xcode is going to be publicly released, it doesn't matter which version of Xcode you do this on.
He's talking about Xcode 11. Right now we're on like Xcode 25 or some shit. Like the Xcode I downloaded a few days ago was Xcode 25. This is so old.
The Swift language shouldn't change too much when it comes to generics and what we're going to be doing. So go ahead and just open up whatever version of Xcode you want. Again, I'm going to be using the current version of Xcode. And what we're going to want to do is create a new Swift playground. Okay, now how do we do this? Well, you can either go up to the file menu in Xcode and hit new and then playground, or you can just use the shortcut, which is Command Option Shift N. Okay, that should open up a new page, which will give you that playground selection. Let me boot that up one more time. Looks like I didn't hit all the option keys. And yeah, this is what you're given. Again, that shortcut is Command Option Shift N. You just want to hold those 4 keys down and it will give you this. I'm going to go ahead and choose a blank playground app, and then I'm just going to call this linked list. Okay, now I'm not sure where it's saving it. I'm just going to put it inside of my documents and I'm going to hit create. Okay, so once you have that, what we're going to do is jump right into the code where we're going to hit this play button, and you'll see that it says hello playground on the right of our screen. Okay, so if you can't get play,
let's speed through this because this is just basic bullshit we don't need to worry about or know. Generics. I guess we can play through this generics part, but this is also just not necessary for what I'm trying to do.
And types that can work with any type. Okay, subject to requirements that you define. So it's going to require that we write a little bit more code, but it allows us to have more flexibility. Okay, it's subject to our requirements. We make the rules now, right? Okay, so you can write code that avoids duplication and expresses its intent in a clear, abstracted manner. Now, what is the purpose of generics in a linked list? Well, it's that we can create a linked list that doesn't take in one type, say a string or an integer. We're making it so that it can take in any type, and that's the exact purpose of generics. Okay, so don't worry too much about what generics are if you're absolutely confused. Go ahead and search my channel for generics. See if I have a video on that if you want to learn more about it.
Like I said, this is not important.
Is connected to this node, but the previous one is connected to nothing, which is why it's nil, okay? And then so on, right? And then the last one has a value of nil. This has a value of nil, the next one, because there's no node it connects to. But again, the previous one kind of connects to that maxcodes.io reference. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense, and hopefully you understand why we need a value.
Yo, TTD, thank you for joining the stream, bro.
Var next, and this is going to be of type LL node because we need to connect to that next node, right? So that little arrow is a connector to that next node. You can think of next as that arrow right there, or that arrow too. Okay, so that's our next node. And then now we need a previous. Let's say var previous, and we might come back in here and mark that as weak, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. You'll see we have our previous one. Hopefully that makes sense. And then finally, we just need an initializer. So we'll say value, type is t, and self.value, let's see. Self.value is equal to value.
Okay.
Right. So that's our LL node or linked list node class.
Now he's gonna make a linked list class.
Before we jump into the next video, what we're gonna do is we're going to build out a basic version of our linked list class without any functions, okay? Just
So this is what I had wrong yesterday. I didn't do the LinkedIn class.
a couple values. Okay, so let's...
Yo, TTD, how you doing, man? I'm just doing some quick studying here. I'm tired, so I'm probably not gonna stay on too long.
Okay, so the head and the tail. All right, so what we're gonna do is...
I need to lock in and apply to more jobs.
And we're gonna define our linked list. We can do this by saying public class linked list is of type T, and then we will provide it a head. So we'll say private var head, and this is gonna be of type node. Now, what did I just do here? I didn't use LL node, okay? And this is why we need to use the LL, because if I say LL node like this, it's gonna give us a little error and it's gonna want us to add a little bit more code, right? Now, we don't want to type out all that code every time, the LL node any with the question mark and everything, right? We just want to say like node with a question mark. How can we do this? Well, type alias. We can say public type alias node is equal to LL node with a type of T. And then now all we have to do is just say, instead of all that, all we have to do is say node. Okay, so that's why we call this LL node, because you'll see if I just call it node, it's going to give us a little error because it's saying, hey, why are you trying to redefine node?
Well, yeah, then you could just change the name there, dude.
And it's this class.
Engineering brain here.
All right, so what we do is we call it LL node. And what this allows us to do is avoid saying
engineering brain
each time we define.
That's all that is. This nigga has engineering brain.
Okay, so that's our head. Now we just
getting
need to
caught, lost in the semantics.
The tail, okay? How do we do this? Or the first. What we're going to do is we're going to say public var first node, and we're just going to return the head. So if we want to get the first element out of our array, we're just going to say first, and it's going to return the head, okay? So how do we get the last node? Well, all we have to do is say public var last, and we'll say this is a type of node. And what we want to do is we first want to check if there even are nodes in our list. And how do we?
He's going to loop through them, I think. A while list.
We need to just check if head has a value, because if head doesn't have a value, then there's no items in our list, which means there's no way we can even have a last node, okay? So what I'm saying is, if this head doesn't exist, then how can our tail exist if we don't even have a head? Okay, none of these will exist if we don't even have a head, because the head is the first element in our array. So the first step in getting our last node is checking if head even exists. So we'll say guard let or guard var node is equal to head, and then we'll say else return nil. So if there is no head, then we'll return nil because there's no last value if there is no head. So we'll just return nothing. Okay, now why did I make this a variable and call it node instead of something like head? And well, the reason we're doing that is because we can override it now if there happens to be more elements. Because just because there's a head in the list doesn't mean it is the last node, right? If there are no nodes after it, then yeah, that's the head and the tail. But maybe there's a whole list we need to kind of recurse over or iterate over or traverse down to get to the tail, like in the case of this 4-item.
And how are you doing that?
And that's
while loop?
exactly what we kind of want to handle after we've checked this, because this is only one case. So the next case is to kind of traverse down the list and find that.
Let's see how he goes through the list. That's what I want to know.
So what we can do is say while let next is equal to node.next, node is equal to next. And then what we'll do is we'll simply return the node. Now, let me explain this because this probably doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. And essentially what's going on here is if we have a head, like we do in this image, we have 4 elements here.
Let me think through this. What I do see is that since it's returning an optional, it doesn't matter if the last one is nil or not. Next equals node.next. So he's looking at node.next, right? Next. And then he's assigning node next. And then the while let is checking if it's optional or not. So it's just going to loop through these until there's no more values that have anything assigned to them. But node.next, right? When you set next to node and you do the recursion again, it's going to check the node.next of the new node. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's just going to spiral down the cone, I guess you could say. Spiral down until it gets to an option that is one of them that is optional. That's fine. Yeah.
Then
makes sense.
We're not going to return nil. But then let's go ahead and check if there's any nodes at the end so we can get to the tail. If node.next, so if head has a next, then we're simply going to set this next node to this node. So we're going to say, okay, node is now this. So this node is now equal to this node. And then we're going to do that again because it's a while loop. We're going to say, okay,
it's a while let. So it's looking to see if it's optional too.
Next value have a value. And now that's next. This one is now next. If it does, then we want to set this now equal to that node. And then we'll do it again. We'll say, okay, well, what's its next node?
Actually, it will stop if it's nil.
We still don't know it's the tail, right? But we know it has a value. So we'll say, okay, we'll set node equal to that node.
Because the condition would fail.
And then we're going to hit this loop again, and we're going to say, okay, well, does that node have a next? And it will fail because it's nil, because there's no node that comes after it. So it's going to say, nope, there's not, so don't run that. Break the loop, and let's return the node. We've successfully now returned the tail. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just keep rewatching this video. And what I actually advise you do right now is follow along, and let's actually define an instance of our linked list and kind of play around with the values. So the goal here is to create a 4-value linked list, okay? And we'll put some custom strings in here for these values. What we're going to do is say let linked list is equal to a new list, right? So we'll say let list is equal to linked list, and we'll make it of type string, okay? Now, again, this is generics. Since it has a type, we need to pass that in, and that type is going to be a string. If we wanted to, we could put in numbers. Okay, that's what generics solves for us. We don't need to duplicate all this code just to make a linked list for strings and integers. We can just use generics and pass in the value we want.
I thought that when you use generics, you don't even need to define it. I thought the compiler can extrapolate based off of the values you pass in.
So what you could do is even pass in your own custom struct, like hello, right? And then it has some data, or let's say var boolean or something.
So what I remember,
it just has some values, okay? And then we can pass in and say, hey, this linked list has a bunch of types of hello. All right, so generics are pretty versatile.
Yo, on the rise. Thank you for joining, bro. How you doing, man?
Let's make it string, and then what we'll do is we'll say
good morning
first. And since there is no value for head, it's going to return nil. Okay, so it's going to return head, but since it's optional, there's not really going to be a value to that. So let's go ahead and compile that. I'm going to hit the play button here, and it should just return nil or something around there. It's taking a second. Okay, you see it says nil. Okay, but I don't really want to focus on that. Let's say list dot last. And that's also going to return nil because it doesn't have a value, right? Head doesn't have a value, which means it's going to return nil. But what happens when we add data to it and then call it? We can say list dot, and you'll see we can't add data because we don't have an append function, which is exactly what we're going to solve in the very next video. So that's it for this video. I hope that was a good introduction to linked lists for you. I hope you learned a little bit about this.
What is kind of making me a little bit apprehensive is why do his nodes have... Oh, never mind. Dumb question. I was going to say, why do his nodes have first, next, and previous? But now I see why. It's because the functions on the linked list class are only to iterate through the nodes, what the nodes actually have attached to them. That makes sense. Go to video 2. Does this have what? I just didn't realize, I don't know. I haven't done this in a while, so it was kind of throwing me off a little bit. So let's go to episode 3. I'm so tired, guys.
All right, welcome
episode
back
3
to the linked list series by Max Codes here on YouTube. And
I might have to end this early today. Let's just go through this. Let's get through this little course. Let's go through it, and then I'm probably gonna end, get some rest. I gotta go to the doctor's office with Bailey later today, but I need to get some rest because I really had a bad sleep last night, and then I'll probably apply to some jobs. By the way, I had my job interview. He says, on what? So what is a linked list? A linked list is basically, I'm gonna say it's similar to an array. He says, like my stream. It's similar to an array. What I was gonna say, chat, is that I had my job interview at 10 o'clock. It was okay. The pay was a little bit low. And the guy asked me what was Scott Leonard, because the email address I have when I send them emails, it has the Scott Leonard branding. And he was like, what the fuck is Scott Leonard? So hopefully this guy doesn't go look me up. I'll just leave it like that. Hopefully he doesn't go look me up. He says, can you work remote or office? Either one. I'm preferring remote though. I would prefer remote.
Welcome back to
the office. I don't want to work in the office.
If you're new here, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe already before you even watch anything, because yeah. Anyway, what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be learning how to append nodes to our list. Now, in the last couple videos, we built this out and we went over what a linked list is. And if you're interested in starting from the beginning, which I highly recommend, go ahead and check out the links in the description to get to the previous video.
I was going to say also using this linked list wrapper class, appending an item to the end of the array is easy, because all he's going to do is call the function last and then dot node last. It's going to return the node, and then he's going to put dot next, and then he's going to add the new node. Easy. Seeing the structure of this now, it makes perfect sense to me. Yesterday, I was a little bit lost with it. I'm going to pull this up again, what we were doing yesterday, right? Because now I have a, oh my God. Now I have a better idea of how this is supposed to look. So let me just, I'm going to erase what I had, or I'll just comment out what I had, right? Oh, this is everything. Also, this here yesterday, I can fix this now. I know what it needs to be. It needs to be something like this. This needs to be something like, this is what it needed to be. Right? And then get rid of all this really quick. Even though this is not how you do a linked list, this is like my own fucking structure at this point. Is Swift a coding program? Yeah, Swift is a language. It's a coding language on the rise. So then once we go through all of these, so while selected node, current selected node dot child node, right? And here we're going to do something like current selected node equals selected node dot next dot child node, right? And now it should loop through all of them until it finds one that's optional, right? And then here, after the while loop, we would put current selected node dot node equals the node that's getting passed through. And then in here, we would add this stuff I had above right here. And then I think I can remove all this shit that I had before. So I think now what would happen is we are going to go through all of the current selected nodes, right? So first one, if current selected node dot node is nil, which means that there's no child node, then we're going to assign node, the node we're passing into the child node, right? And we're going to add a value to it. Node index +1. So the index starts at 0. It's going to be +1. It's going to be 1. And then here, we're looping through all of the nodes, right? So if it's not nil, then we do current selected node dot child node selected node, and we'll keep cycling through them until we find one that's nil. When it's nil, this is going to be now a value that's nil, right? Until then, yeah. So this is going to be nil. So then current selected node dot node is going to be the new node that we're adding. I think this works, but I'm a little apprehensive, but let's see. Index is nil, index is nil, nil. Not clear why. This is 1. This should be going to the next one each time. This might be current selected node, child node. Which is the same thing though. Actually, I think this is supposed to be current selected node equals node. This. It's still nil. I don't know, bro. I'm lost on this one, chat. But either way, this structure is not properly formatted. So let's just do it the right way. Open a new one. No point in fighting with it if it's not going to be, if it's not done properly. So what you're supposed to do is do something like this. Struct, right? No, it has to be a class. I don't think it can be a struct actually, but class, node. And you can use generics like how they were using. The var node var value equals the var next equals node optional. Pretty sure you can do that. Init equals value the self dot value equals value, right? Consecutive declarations. What am I doing wrong with this? Something I'm missing with the syntax. This need to be optional too? I don't think so. Why is it not taken? I'm trying to remember here. What am I doing wrong with this? Not what I want. Oh, you're right. You don't need the brackets. That's what it was. You don't need the brackets. Okay. And then class linked list. And by the way, names need to be capital. The class names need to be capitalized. Node. And then this should be what is this supposed to be? Does this just have functions in it and no? Don't remember. I think var head is supposed to be no T optional, right? And then he had head, he had a tail. I guess we can put tail too, or tail is also a node. Be optional. I'm trying to remember what he was trying to say with the naming conditions. In his example, I'm not sure why he had to do the type alias. I guess he just wanted to use the word node by itself. Maybe. Which I barely remember how to do this. Type alias. So type alias is going to be node, I think, equals node of type optional. Is that how you format that? And then these would just be node. Yeah. Okay. And then this is going to have an initializer, which I would say is just open, close, returns these are optional. Actually, it doesn't need to have that. Return from initializer with initializing all stored values. So this doesn't need to have optional. These do. Like this. Yeah. And then there's a func. Head. Point head. Something like that, I guess. Right. Actually, no, you can have the same name. You can put head. Function. No. Invalid redeclaration of head. I thought that when you have a variable, you can have a variable and a function with the same name. You can't? Oh, I see. He called it something different. Yeah, baby, you should know we have no milk. So this is gonna return the head. And then func tail. Is gonna do what he did in that example. So he's gonna check and see. Actually, why would I need to let's see. I'm thinking here. I can't remember what he did. Did he pass a value in? He did. I think he had a value up here, like a var. All right. Last node or something like that. It equals this. And then he did last node dot next. Something like that. And then he did last node equals end dot next. And then here, I think that he's returning return last node. Right? But where does he get the initial value for this? This is going to be head. Equals head. That's what it was. So last node equals head, right? Then he hit head.next. While head.next is not nil, we'll keep looping through them, right? And then this will be the last node that doesn't have a value. And then I'm assuming that something like append, func append, is going to be something that takes in a node. Takes in a node. right? I'm assuming it's something that takes on a node. Let's see. Can I do that? His names are different then, right? Node. Oh, that's why he changed. I see. Let's just change this to like T node. I don't know. It's a dumb name, but whatever. T node, T node, and T node, like that. This would be T node optional. There. Okay. So then when he does the append, what he's gonna do is he's gonna do end dot next equals node. I think that's all it is. Right? I think that's all it is. So then if I go like here, do that. Okay. And then I do new list dot append. And then I do this is taking in a node, right? Yeah, taking in a node. So this is going to be node 33. That work? Okay. So then let me think this through. If I print hey, ¿qué pasó?
Get your man, bro. Get your man, bro.
Hey, you remind me of the thing I was gonna tell you. Este man dijo de que, hey, can you please give my company a shout out on your live stream? I told him that shit. I was like, dude, my audience is like mostly kids and people that live in other places. Like, they're not gonna. What are you talking about? Like, hey, please just do it for me.
Get your man, bro. Get your man, bro.
By the way, you're live right now, bro. You're live right now.
You're live. You're gay, bro.
I swear to God, you're live right now. Okay, I was like, what do you say to you?
Download that shit.
Why?
I think crush you.
Do you even have a PS? Can you even afford a PS5?
Yeah, I got the PS4. It's better.
The PS4 that's not even gonna work.
You know what? Bombardini is?
What?
Bombardini.
Are you dumb? Yo, wait. Why the fuck is my Why the fuck is my Rodecaster not showing up on the list of devices for
YouTube, go to YouTube and type in the brain rot
dude?
and watch this video.
Are you stupid? I already know what a brain rot is.
Not, bro. Then why you don't know what a bomba is?
Because I don't waste my time doing that shit. I'm trying to make money, bro. Yeah, I know what that is. It's a stupid song. He makes some stupid ass videos. Like, you touch my ting ding ding. My dun dun da, and then it like starts a song. Dun 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 dun. Like I already know that one. Yeah. Do you know what a fucking skibidi toilet is, dude? Are you stupid? Why is my
the dumbest shit? The dumbest fucking shit.
yo? Hey, 6'7".
6'7", nigga.
Do you know what that is? Bailey said she doesn't know what it is.
6'7".
How do you not know what 6'7" is, babe? No, it's something else. What the hell? Why's my Bluetooth not working on this now? System, Bluetooth. Oh, it's because I fucking didn't. Okay, I see what I did. Give me a second. I know, no, well, you didn't tell me what he did. What do you do? What do you do?
It's your man.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I just connected to the. Now I connected to the live stream so I can hear what you're saying. What do you do? What do you do? Dude, what do you do?
Hay que llamando sobre esa señora y vaina, crying and shit.
Bro, where's the love in your heart for your father, bro?
Hey, yo, pause, bro. Pause. Nigga talking about loving another man. Pause.
Your love in your heart for your father. Where is it, bro?
Hey, yo.
Seriously,
Hey,
though.
yo. This nigga said he wants me to call him daddy and love him. Pause, bro.
Where is it, bro? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Hey, you still trying to have a baby? Or y'all can take it fun?
Are you a retard?
Why is it not born yet?
Because it's waiting, bro.
Waiting for what?
It's waiting for the right time.
You get the right time. So, hey, you're gay, look. You're doing exactly the opposite of what Andrew Tate said to do.
And you're doing everything Andrew Tate told you to do, right?
Of course I am, bro.
Your
You're gonna
daddy.
be a stay-at-home dad. You get changing diapers.
Andrew.
Hey, are you ready to breastfeed, nigga?
Am I ready to breastfeed? Are you?
You got milk already?
Hey, you're sick, dude.
That nigga's gonna be breastfeeding. Hey, you're super gay, dude. Why you don't just get a sex change already?
I already did it.
Because this nigga's gonna be breastfeeding. Hey, pause, bro. Changing diapers and shit. Because stay-at-home dad, he basically gonna be the breadwinner.
She is the breadwinner. How'd you know?
Because they're gay, dude.
Damn,
That's how I know.
you got me on that one, bro. You really did.
I know I do. Hey, so just say that, bro. I'm downloading Battlefield once I get some game on. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna focus on playing Battlefield, bro.
And how's that gonna help you?
It's gonna make me good at that game, dude. So I can escape reality. Type shit.
Sometimes I think you're really like you got a real issue, bro. Like you're mentally ill or something.
What do you mean,
Seriously.
dude? What do you fucking mean?
I just know that sometimes I think that you're just like something's wrong with you.
Type shit?
Yeah, like something's wrong with you and like you're coping hard. Coping hard.
You're coping, bro. Hey, when you gonna stop trolling, bro? For real? Yeah. I already know you're streaming just to troll me, look. Yeah. I got the message, bro. Stop trolling already. Okay, child. You never trolled it for this long, look. You've been trolling for a whole year.
Are you dumb? You think I'm gonna not fucking stream? Are you stupid?
You're just doing it to troll me, dude.
You wish.
Yeah. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny, bro. It's not funny. You're putting out clips on TikTok to get targeting me specifically. That's what they only got one view.
Come on, bro.
You get that? You go audience, okay? And every time I go inside TikTok, that's one of your stupid videos. It's specifically targeting me, loco. Cuando es serio, ya, loco. Porque siempre tiene que ser views y después yo dije, si they like, I'm the only like. Literally. Like you're trolling at this point, bro.
Bro, are you slow?
Cuando es serio, bro. No cap, bro. No fucking cap. And then first of all, if you're serious about streaming, you be streaming all day, bro. Non-stop. You won't even stop to sleep. You have a camera on you while you sleep. Literally, bro. That's how you really make it. Go outside, hey, you got cameras on you. You're taking a shit, you got a camera on you. That's how you really gonna make it.
Are you slow?
And then you move to Miami and shit.
Sometimes I wonder, like,
You get
yo,
mad, hella pussy, because and then record it so Billy can get mad, and then you record a reaction. You get cheating on my girl to catch a reaction. Entonces, chaculeas una día, y después que when you're done fucking her, the Billy catches you, and then people start popping out the closet. It's a prank, it's a prank. Yeah, loco. And that's how you can get away with cheating, bro. That's like, hey, I used the fake dick, and that's not even her pussy. She's really a man.
That's crazy,
Nigga.
dude. You're actually slow. Sometimes I wonder if you're actually slow. Like, my brother has a mental issue. He's actually slow, and I don't even know what to say to that.
If I was streaming, I would go crazy, bro. And literally, I'll be going crazy, dude. Crazy. Don't have to rest. I'll be resting like in a week.
Bro, you have no personality, bro. You literally have no personality.
But then look, you're not about it for real. You're not about it, loco. You're just coping. Hey, I gotta go, loco. I gotta go. I'm starving. I'm looking for someone to stop and eat. I'm driving a fucking truck. I hate this shit, dude.
Bro, that's your life. You love that shit because
go.
you've chosen to do it. Hey, dale, loco.
I needed extra bread, dude. I gotta go.
Dale, loco. Chat, he's actually slow. Anyways, let's turn off the Bluetooth on this because I cannot have it. Sending my phone calls to here, my personal phone calls. Anyways. Back to what I was doing. Okay. And so you got this down, right? And head. This is equals to head. It's going to loop through them until it finds an empty node, right? And then here, and n.next equals node. So this should work. I don't know why it's not working. Because end is not going to be nil. End dot next should equal node. I feel like this should work. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something here. Or maybe I'm just missing. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere. Right? If head equals nil, the node we passed in, make it head and return. Okay. That's the first time. The second time, head is not equal to nil. So then we're going to call end, right? an end to give us the last item in the list, because we made, when we called ed, we had head. Head is equal to head, right? We made last node. We made last node equal to head, right? We said last node equals end. This is not optional. So it's going to go to end.next is last node, which would be nil, right? Going to set end.next to nil. We returns last node. Down here, last node is nil. So but last node is not nil. Last node should just be head. Why am I having so much trouble thinking through this? Head is not nil. So then last node equals end.next. Yo, Dragonite, thank you for joining the stream, which is nil. So we can't assign anything to this because this should be I need it to the camera's still going out of focus. I don't know, man. It has to do with the way the angle's set or the stupid hat, maybe. I don't even know. I think here. End node, and this should be, it just changes the current. Let's change this to this. Do this. It's gonna be end node. And then this end node equals end maybe like that. Will this work? Yeah, that worked. 34, 45. That worked. I don't know if this is how he's gonna do it though.
The entire linked list series here on my channel, and you should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What we need to do is append nodes to our list. And how exactly do we do this? Well, intimidating if you've never, a bit confused because of generics, right?
I just want to see his code.
Okay, so what we need to do is say let new node is equal to node, and this is going to take in a value of t, right? So we'll pass in the value no matter what it is, string, integer, or whatever, and it should work. Now you might be wondering, well, if we said string here and then we go down
Here, when he did last, how did he do last? It works different from what I did. Current node, I did node equals head. He returned node. Why am I struggling with this? Let me think. So he did last, he returns a node, right? That's what I did, end. I checked to see if head was head, right? Like how he did head node, right? Then I did current node, end node, which I don't know if I need to do that. Then I did current node, end, whereas he did node.next up here. Node.next is not going to be nil. And then next equals node. Okay, I kind of did this the opposite way. That's why. It still worked, but this is not like the best way to do it. It's kind of tricky. So I did current node and I just made current node head. And then I said, if it's not nil, we're going to iterate. So then we did end.next current node. But then if I do this, I need to have two variables. And then my append function was just if head equals nil, we append it right away. Let n equals end.next equals node. But this is not, this is not a good way of doing this. Also, tail is not getting set anywhere. Whereas tail should be end, right? So last should be something like return end. And then in here, I wouldn't need any of this. I would just make it I'd get rid of this. I would do last dot next, right? And this should give the same answers. But then I don't need to do this either. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this, do that, make it a computed property. Change this to var. And in fact, can we make this a let? Can't remember if you can do constants. Yeah, you can't do constants. It's computed. Var. Change this to a var. Change this to that. And now get rid of these brackets. Do that. And now that should just be this. This should just be last. And it should be the same answers. 35, 44, 34, 45. And then also in his append, he didn't create the node in the append. He did something like node value. And then here, it was just the value of type T. Right? Do we need to, yeah. And then here it was just value. Like that. And then here, these should just be, and actually let's do this. Let's just do that. And then here it just needs to be 34, 45, like that. This would just be this again, like that. And now it should give the same answer. Yeah. Yo, thanks, Dragonite. Yeah, guys, I'm going to call it an afternoon. I'm tired. Today is just a tired day for me. I need to think through some things and I got to take a break. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.